guys, it's John V. Today I created this super duper basic but bold brown and black and gold eyeshadow look. I feel like everybody does this or has done this at some point in time. It's like a super duper basic eyeshadow look. I just upped it up a notch and I made it look super duper cool with the cut crease and stuff. And also the skin is super duper glowy. So if you want to see how I created this look, then keep watching. Okay, so I'm starting off with my eyebrows already filled in. I used the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Ebony, and I just went ahead and concealed them with the Born This Way concealer in the shade Natural Beige. I'm just going to use a bit more of this concealer on my eyelids to prime my eyelids. I'm gonna start working on my transitional shade for my eyeshadow. So I'm gonna go into my Pretty Fun and Fearless palette, and I'm gonna be mixing those two shades, Unconditional and On Fire, using that as a transitional shade. And I'm just doing that on a big fluffy eyeshadow brush. So I'm gonna mainly be focusing the shade into my crease, but I'm gonna blend it all over so that it's really smooth. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of that pale shade, My Tribe, and just put that over my brow bone. I'm going to go into my Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, that brown shade Ode. I don't really know how you pronounce it. And I'm going to be using a fluffy but slightly skinnier eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to be mainly focusing this into my outer V, but I still want to blend it in flawlessly with the transition shades. So when you're focusing this into your outer V, you kind of want to create a wingish shape, so it just elongates your eye and makes it more almond shaped. I'm going to go into my Morphe James Charles palette, and I am going to dip into that black shade. I'm going to take a very dense eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to pack this right into my outer V. You want to be careful when you're using black. A little goes a long way because it's such a dark color. And also if you blend it out too much, your eyeshadow is going to start looking ashy, and the black isn't really going to be very black anymore. So a trick for using the black eyeshadow is first you kind of want to just place it in the shape where you want it to be, and then you can take a slightly fluffier brush like that, go in with a shade that's going to help it blend into the shades that you've laid out before. In this case, we laid out the brown before. So I'm going to go into that blackish brown shade right above the black in the James Charles palette, and I'm just going to slightly blend that out a bit. And again, this is still a very dark color, so you want to be careful to not apply too much. And then once you're done blending out that dark brown shade, you could just go back in with a little bit of black on that same very dense brush that you used before, and just mark the darkest part in the eyeshadow. Just like that. I'm gonna do it to the other eye. Okay, kind of like that. Water. Water is so good. Delicious. Okay, And then I'm gonna slightly cut like a half crease shape using the same concealer, the Born This Way concealer in the shade Natural Beige. I just want a good base for the glitter that we're gonna put on top. Anyway, now I'm gonna go into my Violet Voss Curl Cove palette. I'm gonna use that shimmer shade Glow Up. The color of this shimmer shade is so pigmented. It's so pretty. And then I'm going to go back to my Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, and I'm going to go into a little bit of those two shimmer shades, Celestial and Nefretti. They're like loose glitters, so I can just slightly tap this on top of the shimmer that I already placed down. It doesn't make that big of a difference like on camera, but in person it just makes it like a lot more shiny and shimmery and sparkly. And then I'm gonna go back into the same Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette with just a little bit of that shade Cosmo. It is a very loose glitter, so I could just take a little bit on my brush and very slightly tap that on top of the glitter that we just placed. Cosmo is more of a pinkish color as opposed to like the champagne golds that we've been using before. So I just think it's gonna help add a little bit more color and dimension into our eye look. Again, on camera it doesn't make that big of a difference, but in person there's just some pink flakes, and when the light hits it the right way, it just looks really cool and beautiful. And then I'm gonna go back into the fluffy brush that I used before, use that shade Ode from the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette, and use that to slightly blend together the brown shades and the gold part. Just like that. Okay, and then I'm gonna do a winged eyeliner. I'm doing like a medium thick wing. Okay, so once I'm done with the winged eyeliner, I'm going to be popping on some falsies. These are just some Ardell wispies. And then I'm going to use this charcoal eyeliner pencil from MAC to tightline. And then I'm going to tie my top eyelashes into the falsies with some mascara. I'm just using the Clinique High Impact Mascara. And for now, we're just going over the top lashes, not the bottom ones. Okay, now we can finally start on the face. I'm going to be using the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation in the shade 5.5 Warm Honey. And then the same concealer, the Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Natural Beige. I'm going to be blending out the foundation with this foundation brush. And then I'm going to be using a damp beauty blender to blend out my under eye concealer and to clean up the eyeshadow a little bit. And then I'm going to be contouring Fenty Beauty Match Stix. This is in the shade Mocha. I'm contouring my cheekbones, my jawline, and my nose. And I'm going to be blending that out with this kind of dense facial brush. And then for my nose contour, I'm going to be blending that out with this dense eyeshadow brush. I'm going to be setting all over my face with this CoverGirl TrueBlend pressed powder. This is in the shade Translucent Honey. I'm mainly focusing this product on the center of my face, like my under eyes, underneath my cheekbones, and on the center of my forehead. Okay, now I'm going to set the perimeter of my face with this MAC mineral powder in the shade Dark Golden. It's like a shade darker than my skin tone, so that's why I like using it for the perimeter of my face, because it adds more like a natural dimension with the powder products. I'm going to be going in with this really big fluffy face brush. And then I'm going to very slightly go in with the Benefit Hoola bronzer just to bronze my face, and I'm going to be pretty much putting this where I put the MAC. The difference with the bronzer and the mineral powder is that the bronzer has a little bit more orange undertones, so it helps actually bronze your face rather than just like setting the perimeter of it. Now I'm going to be baking my face around my nose and underneath my cheekbones with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm using this like velvety sponge. I love like how you look with the baking powder on your face. It just like looks cool. I don't know. Next I'm going to be going back into my under eyes. I'm going to be taking that brown shade Ode from the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette and just smoking that underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to go back to the Clinique High Impact Mascara for my bottom lashes. Okay, now I'm going to brush off the bake. See how clean it made your cheekbones and your nose. Okay, next I'm going to do highlighter. This is the Becca highlighter in the shade Champagne Pop. I'm going to be putting this on my cheekbones. And then I'm also going to be taking a skinnier brush and popping it on my nose, inner corners, and eyebrow bone. And then I'm going to go in with the Milani blush. This is in the shade Coral Cove, and just popping that on the apples of my cheeks. You want to use this to help blend together the highlighter and the bronzer, and of course give you that natural blush. And now we're done with the face. The last step is lips. I'm gonna start off by contouring and outlining my lips with this Revlon lip liner in the shade Mauve. Okay, I don't know what shade this is in, but this Victoria's Secret Velvet Matte Liquid Lipstick, and it's like a nude shade. Last but not least, I'm going to be going in with my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray just to lock everything into place and melt all the powder products. And that completes the makeup look. I feel like it's a really bold but very basic eyeshadow look. It's just like the basic, you know, gold and brown and black eyeshadow. Also, the skin is like super duper glowy, and I really like how we did the skin today. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed watching me create this look. Thank you for watching. See you later.